Okay, this week's question is a good one. It's a little bit in the nitty-gritty details of things. It is, how do I interpret something if I have two planets that are conjunct, so they're two planets that are close together, but they're in different signs? So this is my rule of thumb, very different than a lot of modern astrologers, but I consider aspects. So I consider relationships between two planets that are out of sign based relationships with each other if they're within a 3-degree orb. So it's a pretty tight orb. A lot of modern astrologers, I think, use like a 10-degree orb or even wider, depending on the planets. So this is what I mean by it. If you have Mercury in Libra at like 0 degrees of Libra, but you have Mars at 28 degrees of Virgo, I would see those two planets as working together. Depending on the speed of them, because planets go at different speeds all the time, depending on the phase of their cycle, like whatever cycle they're in. Like you and I go really fast some days, and some days I go really slow. Planets are the same. Some days they go really fast, and some days they go really slow. Days, weeks, time periods, they go slow and fast. So that's a little in the weeds, but if you know that, it can help. Like if Venus is stationing retrograde and it's going to back into Mars, then it's even a more powerful conjunction. But if two planets are in different signs, but they're still conjunct, I would say within 3 degrees, then the conjunction works a little differently than it would if the planets were in the same signs. Because if the planets are in the same signs and they both have the same ruler and they're both working in the same style, but when they're in an out of sign conjunction or an out of sign aspect with one another, it's still potent. And you look at, of course, the significance of the planets involved. So what does it mean to have Mars and, did I say Mercury or Venus? Whatever the combination is. What does it mean to have that planet with that planet? And they have to, if they're sitting close to each other, especially within 3 degrees, if they're out of sign, if they're sitting close to each other, then they've got to function together. One informs the other. So if any planet is in connection with Mercury, Mercury is going to act more like that planet. Or we could say Mercury is going to translate with that planet in mind, because Mercury is a planet that can go a lot of different ways. Mercury is a planet that is communicating. It's like a microphone. It's picking up whatever is hanging around. So if it's hanging around with Mars, it's going to speak really intensely. If it's hanging around with Venus, it's going to speak in a way that's much more flowery, and people are going to be like, oh my God, I love your voice. If it's hanging around with the moon, it's probably going to be a little moody, but it's also going to be very reflective and very nurturing and very able to connect with other people, all depending on the sign. So if Mercury is in, what did I say? If Mercury is in Virgo, I don't think I said that, but say Mercury is in Virgo, it's going to be very critically minded and a really excellent economical speaker or writer or deliverer of info. And then say Mars is in Libra. It's a tough combination because Mars has a hard time in Libra. But if Mars is in Libra, then Mercury is going to have to also translate something about Mars. So something about conflict or something about activism or something about seeking initiation or something about courage, but in a Libran kind of style. So it's still going to want to be nice. So it might be a little even harder to read. It's like we're going to want to be edgy, but we're also going to want to hedge some of our bets and be balanced about what it is we're talking about. So again, you're looking at the planet and how the planet functions, and then you're looking at the other planet and how that planet functions, and then you're trying to merge it all together. So you're merging the qualities of the two planets and their jobs, and then you're also trying to merge the way they do their jobs in their signs. So it's more work because you have to parse out more details. Let me know if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, I'll try to redo my answer or elaborate a little bit more.